welcome to our webinar. I'm Dr. Rita the Chief Medical Officer for Wakana, as well as one of the co-founders. And each and every Wednesday night, what I love to do is to really empower all of you on the different medicinal benefits that CBD has on so many chronic illnesses and diseases that some of us on the line may be facing, or maybe someone in our family is facing. So tonight, we are going to talk about CBD and its medicinal benefits on those who suffer from diabetes. So we're going to first watch a very short 4-minute video, and I'm going to play the video, and then after the video is over, I will come back on the line.
There have been no advanced clinical trials done on the effects of CBD for diabetes. There has been some research done on the topic, but this has been carried out on mice in a laboratory setting, far from the clinical conditions doctors need in order to establish a compound as a viable medicine. That said, the results from animal studies have shown that CBD may be able to decrease the incidence of diabetes through an immunomodulatory mechanism. Also, the general therapeutic properties of CBD may be able to help with secondary symptoms of diabetes. In this short video guide, we'll go over everything you need to know about CBD, diabetes, related low sugar symptoms, and how cannabis extract may play a role in offering a safe, inexpensive, side effect-free form of treatment. Diabetes is a disease wherein the body is either unable to produce insulin or it's unable to use it in a way that's sufficient to maintain healthy glucose levels in the blood. Irregular or unstable glucose levels can cause a huge array of serious, life-threatening conditions. In regard to CBD oil for diabetes, there are two main things to consider in order to determine the compound's influence on glucose levels. First, we'll want to examine whether or not CBD works to improve either the function and or the production of insulin. Second, we want to look at how CBD might work to alleviate the spectrum of side effects caused by irregular blood sugar levels. We know through research that CBD receptors occur naturally throughout the human body. In fact, one of the organs where CBD receptors are known to be highly prevalent is the pancreas, the site of insulin production. A 2016 publication in Diabetes, Obesity, and Metabolism suggests that the stimulus of pancreatic CBD receptors may have links to insulin production. In other words, it appears possible that endocannabinoids, as well as cannabinoids like CBD, may actually play a role in the production of insulin. Preliminary studies on CBD for diabetes have been so intriguing, in fact, they've led Dr. Joseph Albert, a leading physician with the American Journal of Medicine, to call on the National Institute of Health for advanced funding and research. Even more concrete than CBD's potential role in insulin production, however, is research on CBD's anti-inflammatory properties. One of the most prominent factors associated with the development of insulin resistance in type 2 diabetes is chronic inflammation related to obesity. The excessive presence of fatty tissue in obese type 2 diabetics limits the efficiency of glucose, which results in high levels of sugar building up in the bloodstream. It is possible that the anti-inflammatory properties of CBD may provide side effect-free therapy for both type 1 and type 2 diabetes patients. Nerve damage is another condition commonly associated with diabetes. In many instances, diabetics have limited sensation in their lower extremities due to severe nerve deterioration. This is another area where CBD and cannabis in general may be able to act as a natural form of therapy. In fact, cannabinoids are federally patented neuroprotectants, meaning they possess properties that may help prevent diabetes-induced nerve damage. There have been other publications showing promise in the role of CBD as a treatment for diabetes, including studies on retinopathy and diabetic cardiovascular dysfunction. In short, the medical potential of CBD is highly promising. That said, CBD oil should not be mistaken for a guaranteed solution for all diabetics. While some patients have found it to be therapeutic, much more research is needed in order for doctors to consider it a viable form of therapy.
Very, very powerful video. That brings me to our presentation tonight. and our presentation is on CBD, again, and diabetes. And truly, this has been such an eye-opening experience for so many of my patients who want to decrease the amount of medication they're on, be it insulin or oral medications like metformin and glyburide. These are options for these patients. So if you're on the line and you're either a type 1 or type 2 diabetic, or maybe you have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes, then this is information that you're going to want to take to those friends and family members, and even take notes tonight on this webinar. First, let's start talking about the different types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, whereas 10% of those suffer from, is when the body cannot produce insulin. Type 2 diabetes is typically more common. 90% of folks have type 2 diabetes, and that means that the body produces some insulin. It's not used efficiently, or it doesn't produce enough. And then there's gestational diabetes. I'm an obstetrician gynecologist. I've been practicing for over 30 years now. And gestational diabetes is when we have high blood sugar levels in those women who are pregnant, and typically it subsides once they have birth. But what's interesting is that 20% or more of these women who have gestational diabetes go on later on, 5-10 years later, to have type 2 diabetes. And then pre-diabetes, again, is when you get those blood sugar levels that are elevated, or those hemoglobin A1Cs that are above 6, and you get the diagnosis of pre-diabetes. So there's type 1 diabetes, there's type 2 diabetes, there's gestational diabetes, and then there's pre-diabetics. Are you able to prevent diabetes? Well, absolutely yes. By having a balanced, healthy diet, by maintaining an appropriate body weight, becoming more physical, at least walking 30 minutes a day. So your type 2 diabetics, yes, that can be prevented. Unfortunately, type 1 diabetes, there is no prevention. There is a lot of studies that show type 1 diabetes is a form of an autoimmune disease where those beta cells of the pancreas no longer, or have never been able to produce insulin. So over 1 million Americans, about a third of the population, are currently living with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. So that's why tonight is very important to take this information back to every diabetic or pre-diabetic that you may know. In fact, another 84.1 million people are pre-diabetic and may develop type 2 diabetes if they don't get control of their condition. So the prevalence of diabetes is absolutely very serious in the United States. We are working diligently on working to solve the problem, but one problem we know is our diet. So there's a lot of attention that's been given to CBD, CBD oil, CBD infused products, because we know that CBD has been recognized as a solution to countless of other medical issues like seizures, inflammation, migraine headaches, depression, and etc. But absolutely, there's a lot of studies on CBD and diabetes. So these are some signs that you should not ignore. These are signs that you could be a diabetic or pre-diabetic. Frequent or excessive urination, frequent or excessive thirst. Typically, diabetes is first, the symptoms are thirsty and you're always urinating. Feeling tired throughout the day, feeling hungry quite often. Very slow healing of cuts and wounds. Difficult to treat infections. Darkening of the skin. We'll look at one of the skin conditions that we see in diabetes called acanthosis nigrans. Blurred vision and unexplained weight loss. So let's look at the plant, because we're going to be talking about how this plant can assist those with type 1, type 2, gestational diabetes, and even pre-diabetes. Well, cannabis has over 85 plus compounds called cannabinoids. And this plant has two species. One species is the hemp species. And the hemp species is the part of the cannabis that gives us the compound CBD that has no psychoactive components. It doesn't give us any high, but it gives us all the health benefits. The hemp species does contain very low levels of THC, 0.3% or less. THC is the psychoactive part of the plant. Tetrahydrocannabidiol is the part of the plant that gives us that high, that gives us that euphoria. It's important to know that the marijuana species of the cannabis plant, though it contains some CBD, it has high levels of THC. That's why the hemp species gives you the health without the high, and the marijuana species gives you the high. So it's really important to understand the difference between hemp and marijuana. And tonight we're going to specifically concentrate on CBD that is extracted from the hemp plant. So let's look at some of these cannabinoids. Cannabinoids are compounds that the cannabis plant makes. Again, we said there's over 85 plus cannabinoids. It's important to know that our body makes cannabinoids. Did you know that our body produces cannabinoids that are called endocannabinoids? In fact, one of the top endocannabinoids is found in breast milk, anandamide. Anandamide is also found in dark chocolate. It's found in beer hops. That's why when you eat dark chocolate, you feel a euphoria, you feel a bliss. That's why breastfed babies are so happy, right? Because their moms are exposing them to an endocannabinoid. So when our bodies get knocked out of balance, when we have a poor diet, when we're eating a lot of processed food, when we're under a lot of stress, when we're not getting sleep, adequately sleep, that's when our body's endocannabinoids become deficient. And that's why everyone needs CBD. Two of the main cannabinoids that the hemp plant makes, one is CBD and the other at a lesser amount is THC. So again, these compounds are made by the cannabis plant. They have an amazing amount of abilities to medicinally treat so many symptoms, from pain to nausea to anxiety and inflammation. So let's look closely at what I call the health wheel, or the full spectrum cannabinoid wheel. And you can see here that the main player is CBD. CBD, or cannabidiol, has a very long list of medicinal properties. CBD is antibacterial. It inhibits cancer cell growth. It's neuroprotective. That means that it protects the nerves that have been damaged from high sugar levels found in diabetics. It also promotes bone growth. It reduces seizures and convulsions. We talked about the fact that it reduces blood sugar levels. It reduces the function in the immune system. So an overactive immune system that we find in type 1 diabetes, that we find in all of the autoimmune diseases like fibromyalgia, lupus, and sarcoid, and scleroderma. It also reduces inflammation. And we'll talk about why that is the most important factor that CBD brings to the table when we talk about diabetes. Because diabetes, along with the other chronic conditions like obesity and hypertension, is the level of inflammation that is occurring in the pancreas. CBD also reduces the risk of arterial blockage. That's really important because diabetics are at increased risk of coronary artery disease. CBD reduces small intestinal contractions. It reduces nausea and vomiting. That is a common symptom that happens when people that have uncontrolled blood sugar go into a hyperglycemic coma. CBD relieves pain. We talk about pain that comes from nerve damage, and it also relieves anxiety. You know, diabetes is a very anxiety-provoking condition. It slows bacterial growth. It suppresses muscle spasms. It's calming, tranquilizing. It treats not only psoriasis, but you'll see later on in this webinar, it treats a lot of the skin conditions that diabetics suffer from, as well as CBD is a vasorelaxant, which means it dilates the vessels. Well, let's look at the other cannabinoid of interest, and that's this one, Delta-9 THC. Delta-9 THC, though, has medicinal properties, not as many as CBD, but is an important player as well. Delta-9 THC reduces nausea and vomiting, relieves pain, stimulates appetite, and suppresses the muscle spasms. But the other cannabinoids that are of importance are on this wheel. And this is why it's important that a full spectrum product is introduced to those who may be suffering from type 1, type 2, prediabetes, or even gestational diabetes. Because the synergy of all these important cannabinoids on a cellular level is very effective in reducing inflammation, in reducing pain, and reducing blood sugar levels. So you can see how CBD can affect so many parts of the body, so many parts that are a part of the diabetic spectrum, from the brain to the hand, to the stomach, to the intestines, to the eyes. You know, diabetics very often, because of high sugar levels, develop diabetic retinopathy and even blindness. And of course, the heart. The increase in sugar, the increase in inflammation causes an increase of coronary artery disease or atherosclerosis. So again, CBD stands for cannabidiol. It is the second most common cannabinoid found in the cannabis plant, the most common found in hemp. And unlike THC, it does not have any mind-altering effects. In fact, I've been using CBD in my practice for the last 3 years, and I use it in conjunction with traditional treatment for various diseases like diabetes, hypertension, and all of the autoimmune diseases. So how does CBD actually work in improving those symptoms in those who have diabetes? Well, we talked about how diabetes is a case of insulin resistance. That means that the insulin is not able to be produced by those beta cells in the pancreas. And insulin resistance is a key factor, not only in prediabetes, but type 2 diabetes. So many studies have shown that it's really the anti-inflammatory property that CBD possesses that decreases that chronic inflammation and then decreases insulin resistance. So when we decrease the inflammation, we improve the immune system, we improve the inflammation in the cardiovascular system, then we improve the overall health of those who have diabetes. So let's look at how CBD works in the body. Well, there's something called the endocannabinoid system. And this system was discovered in the early 1990s. Yes, when I was at Wayne State School of Medicine in Detroit, this was discovered, though we were never taught about this system. But it is deemed one of the most vital regulatory systems within the human body. And it is made up of receptors. These receptors are found in every human being, and they're found in every single organ and gland in our body. These receptors are found not only in the brain and the central nervous system, but they're found in the periphery and the immune system. And the whole purpose of the endocannabinoid system is to keep our body in balance or in homeostasis. So this system keeps our internal bodily functions stable. It also controls how we think, how we feel, how we react. It also controls our metabolism, our blood sugar, our blood pressure, our pulse rate. So you can see the brain, the lungs, the vascular system, the liver, the colon, the immune system, the spleen, the pancreas, the reproductive system, the muscles, the bones, every single organ and gland in our body has either CB1 or CB2 receptors that are looking for cannabinoids to keep our body in balance. And you can see the main player here that we're going to talk about is the pancreas. So let's look at one of the number one risk factors in developing type 2 diabetes. It's obesity. Obesity and having a large waist circumference is a well-known risk factor for type 2 diabetes. So if you're on the line and you have a lot of fat around your belly, or you have a BMI that's over 26, 28, you are at risk for developing diabetes. And what research has shown is that they have shown that cannabis and hemp-based products are actually linked to having a smaller waist circumference and having a lower BMI and a decreased level of obesity. CBD can actually help in weight management. It does that by suppressing your appetite. It helps to eliminate the extra weight from decreasing inflammation, because remember, CBD is a powerful anti-inflammatory. It improves the energy burning capabilities. In fact, CBD is known to turn that white fat into brown fat, which can help to burn calories more efficiently. Let's look at one of the long-term effects of diabetes. And one of the long-term effects of diabetes, unfortunately, is nerve damage or neuropathy. Many of you on the line may suffer from nerve damage due to diabetes. This is debilitating pain in the hands and feet. These symptoms cause not only pain, but numbness and tingling in the affected area. Can you imagine trying to sleep at night and you have this debilitating pain and numbness and tingling all night? So studies have shown and suggested that CBD may protect the liver and prevent the development of neuropathy. CBD has been matched up against gabapentin. Many of you on the line may be on gabapentin, and we use gabapentin to decrease neuropathy and nerve pain. And CBD is also a powerful analgesic. It is a powerful pain reliever that can be used to help relieve pain and prevent additional neuropathy in those patients who have long-term nerve damage. Let's look at another long-term damage due to diabetics. There's a lot. We're going to talk about just a few tonight. But one is chronic skin sensitivity and irritation. Some common skin issues are sores on feet, rashes on various parts of the body. CBD, because of its anti-inflammatory, because of its anti-aging and moisturizing benefits, may absolutely be an option for those to provide relief from itching, burning, and associated discomfort, to smooth the skin, and to actually speed up the body's natural healing process, and also to prevent painful skin disorders. So CBD infused lotions and creams that we're going to talk about tonight have been highly effective in targeting those conditions. So this is one of the common skin conditions that we see in our diabetic patients. Is called acanthos nigrams. It's a velvety, dark accumulation on the skin that is caused by high sugar levels. It's very irritating, it's very annoying, it's not pretty, and it can cause a lot of anxiety. So let's talk about how CBD can prevent diabetes, because you may be on the line and you may be healthy like myself. You may not have any health conditions, but you want to see, well, if I take CBD, can it actually prevent me from developing diabetes down the line? And the answer is yes. They did a 5-year study, and they showed that people who use cannabis or hemp-based products on a regular basis had fasting insulin levels 16% lower than those who didn't use any CBD or non-cannabis users. They also showed that those people also had a higher level of HDL cholesterol. So HDL cholesterol is your good cholesterol. That's that cholesterol that's going to prevent you from developing coronary artery disease or atherosclerosis. So those people who use CBD on a regular basis had insulin-resistant levels 17% lower than those who didn't. So people who used cannabis or hemp in the past, but were not cannabis users, also had better fasting insulin, had better cholesterol, and insulin-resistant levels that were better than non-cannabis users. So CBD can also be used to prevent diabetes. So let's move on to our product line. We're going to move on to our product line here at Wakana, and we're going to show you if you're pre-diabetic, type 1, type 2, gestational diabetic, or maybe you just want to prevent from developing diabetes, how you can use our products. It's important to understand that the FDA has not approved any of these statements. So if you are pregnant, nursing, under a doctor's care, please consult with your physician prior to consuming CBD. So here at Wakana, we have products that you can trust. We have a power line, which you see on the left, and our power line is our full spectrum line. That means that we use the entire plant. We use the important cannabinoids that we talked about, like CBD and the 0.3% or less of THC, the CBN, the CBC, the CBG, the terpenes, the flavonoids, to synergistically blend into amazing products. And then we have our broad spectrum products. Those are our pure products. Those products are in a white label, and they contain less than 0.0% of THC. Our pure products are the best products for those if you're on the line and you're diabetic, either type 1 or type 2 or a pre-diabetic that have random drug screens at your job. You want to use our pure products. So again, at Wakana, we have products you can trust. See, there are CBD companies and products everywhere, but not all CBD is made equally. We provide some of the most rich medicinal hemp that is fully compliant with the State Department of Agriculture regulations. And what that means is that hemp is a bioaccumulator. When you plant hemp, it will accumulate whatever in the soil. So you want to make sure that you have a product that has been grown in organic soil. Our products are industrial hemp registered, as well as our products are compliant with the 2018 Farm Bill. In the 2018 Farm Bill, after 80 years of hemp being a controlled substance, now descheduled hemp, and now is legal in all 50 states to consume, to cultivate and grow, and to sell. The Farm Bill states specifically that CBD has to be extracted from the hemp species, which is defined as containing less than 0.3% or less of THC. So you can see our products are products you can trust. Our products are double certified. They are third-party validated. That means that before they even hit your shelf, they have been tested to ensure that there is the right amount of CBD and the other cannabinoids, that there is the right amount of THC, which is 0.3% or less, and that the products are free from mold, mildew, heavy metals, and pesticides. This is extremely important to understand that not all CBD is made equally. Now let's go over one of our top products, which is our Power Hemp ND. This product is our most potent product on our product line. It contains anywhere from 600 to 800 milligrams of CBD. It is a full spectrum product, which means it contains the CBD, CBG, CBN, CBC, and the legal limit of THC, which is 0.3% or less. This is a tincture, which means that you hold it underneath the tongue, and it's important to hold it underneath the tongue for about a minute so that the CBD can be absorbed in those sublingual glands and get to the bloodstream within 15 to 20 minutes. This is a product for those who may be pre-diabetic, diabetic, or even for those who want to prevent diabetes. Again, as a tincture, you use it and place it underneath the tongue. Our other power products, again, the power products are the products that contain 0.3% or less of THC, and they have the black label, is our Impranium 500 milligrams. Now, our products are very unique. There are no other CBD company that has a proprietary blend of 3 USDA certified organic essential oils that enhance the anti-inflammatory effects of CBD. So not only does it have CBD and the other cannabinoids, but these products, our Impranium 500 contains black seed. Now, black seed is a very powerful certified organic essential oil. Black seed has been shown to rebuild the beta cells of the pancreas. And that's why it was important for our formulators to include black seed, because they knew that diabetics, type 1 and type 2, and pre-diabetics could benefit from the additional black seed in the product. The other 2 essential oils are turmeric. We know about turmeric. Many of us on the line use turmeric. Well, turmeric is already in the product. Turmeric is a powerful anti-inflammatory, as well as peppermint, which gives the product an amazing taste. Now, our next product is our Power Water Soluble. We know that there are folks out there that necessarily don't want to hold an oil underneath their tongue for 60 seconds. So we have a product that you can infuse your beverages, you can infuse your food, your smoothies, your water. Whatever you have, you can infuse with our Water Soluble. And then our Culinary Plus is a great product for those who are baking and cooking. We know that diabetics shouldn't be eating cakes and cookies, but there are other products that they can use and bake and cook their food with. This is a product that you can use as a tincture as well underneath the tongue without having the added flavor. So again, CBD, when you take CBD, more is not better. I always tell my patients to start low and start low. Start slow and start low. So the recommended starting doses for these products simply is 3 drops in the morning and 3 drops in the evening. I have patients that are monitoring their blood sugars, their fasting blood sugars, and some of them notice within 2 to 3 days an improvement in their fasting blood sugar. They see an improvement in their neuropathy, in their nerve pain. They even see an improvement, as we'll see later on with one of our topical products, in skin conditions. So that is some of our power products. We also have a Power Vape Oil cartridge. And what I love about vaping is that the onset of action is within 1 to 5 minutes. So the CBD gets into the bloodstream very quickly with a bioavailability of 60%. So the cells are able to get the CBD quickly. I love vaping for those acute neuropathic pains that may occur in diabetics. I love vaping for those issues that of anxiety that you need a fast relief. 1 to 3 pulls is all you need 3 times per day to help with those issues. Now, we've heard a lot about vape oil cartridges, right? In the media, we've heard that there are about 13 to 15 people that passed away. There were numerous, hundreds and hundreds of mysterious lung conditions after people were vaping. Well, when they were not vaping Wakana products, I just want you to be aware that these products that were tested by the FDA were black market products. These are products that folks were buying off the street, and they contain rat poison, they contain fentanyl, they contained a lot of synthetic fillers. But the number one thing that they found that was the cause of so many deaths was vitamin E. Yes, vitamin E. So a lot of the black markets use vitamin E instead of using a carrier oil that we use at Wakana, which is MCT coconut oil. And vitamin E, when it's heated, becomes very toxic to the lungs. So just know here at Wakana, our products are not only organic, but they are tested and they are safe and effective. So another thing that we look at when we're dealing with diabetes, again, is neuropathy. Neuropathy is nerve damage, and that nerve damage causes debilitating pain. Our Power Liquid Relief is one of our newer topical products that we use for neuropathy, that we can use for sciatica, we can use for arthritis, any joint, muscle, or nerve pain. This is a great product. This product contains 200 milligrams of CBD as well as 19 certified organic essential oils that address what? Inflammation. That decreases inflammation, that improves the neuropathy and nerve pain in so many of the diabetics. When you use a topical products do not pass the blood-brain barrier. So if you are out there and you're diabetic and you have random drug screens at your job, you can absolutely use our topical Power Liquid Relief for your neuropathic or nerve pain. Now let's get into some of our other products that can be used by diabetics. One is our Power Mango Body Cream. We talked about how high sugar levels can cause a lot of skin conditions, one being acanthosis nigrans, that black, velvety, thick skin that's very irritating and full of inflammation. Well, our Power Mango Body Cream is 500 milligrams of CBD, can be used on those diabetics who have skin conditions. It is a great way to not only give moisture to the skin, but to decrease the inflammation of the skin. Remember, CBD not only is an anti-inflammatory, but it's antibacterial. So it will address bacterial as well as inflammatory skin conditions due to diabetes. Diabetes, unfortunately, and the treatment that we give for diabetes, unfortunately causes a lot of libido issues in men and women. It causes erectile dysfunction in men. So we have a Power Cherry Bliss CBD lube for those who have issues secondary to the medications you may be on that causes erectile dysfunction, or medications you may be on that causes a loss of your libido. This CBD lube is 400 milligrams of CBD. You use it on the outside of the vagina. You can use it on the penis. It will provide the relief, because remember, there are receptors in every single organ and gland in our body. So yes, there are receptors in the vagina, the uterus, the testicles. This is an amazing lube that will help bring that passion back to the bedroom. We also know that in diabetics with high sugar levels have something called alopecia. Diabetics can have hair thinning, they can have hair loss. So we have at Wakana an empowered hair, which contains 100 milligrams of CBD, along with a host of other amazing USDA certified essential oils that address inflammation of the scalp. It helps to dilate the vessels of the scalp and helps to recover those hair loss or alopecia areas that those diabetics will encounter. I love this product. Why? Because it can be used topically and you can use it internally. So again, if you are working for an organization that does random drug screens, yes, you can still use this product for hair loss due to diabetes, and you can use it topically. Again, diabetics often have a lot of hair loss, a lot of hair thinning, which we have addressed here at Wakana. The other thing we know is that the edible business is hot. It's one of the fastest growing segments. We know that everyone, again, loves infusing their food. They love infusing their brownies and cookies. And again, you diabetics out there, you have special recipes that are low in sugar where you can still enjoy your baked foods. But we also have a large and fast-growing segment that love our gummies. Now, on Black Friday, we launched a whole line of edible products that diabetics can use. We have seasonings, CBD-infused seasonings. We have CBD-infused butter. We have vegan butter as well as grass-fed butter. And we have a CBD culinary oil that is enhanced with grapeseed oil. All of these products will give a diabetic, type 1, type 2, or pre-diabetic, a gestational diabetic, or even if you want to prevent diabetes from occurring down the line, these are products you can use. You can use them and get the same benefits as the tinctures, the water solubles, and as well as our gummies. Now, our gummies are amazing because our gummies provide 25 milligrams of CBD, and our gummies are just another method of ingesting and getting CBD into your bloodstream. Gummies take a little longer. They take about 45 to 90 minutes sometimes to take effect. That's why it's so important to use a gummy before you go to sleep, 45 minutes, so that your sleep won't be interrupted by pain. There are many people that suffer from nerve pain and cannot sleep at night. So highly recommend using a gummy in addition to our other products for those symptoms that diabetes has. Now, our pure products, again, are the ones that are in the white label. They are broad spectrum products. They contain less than 0.0% of THC. But what Wakana has done with our pure products is that we have embraced a technology that's called nanotechnology. See, nanotechnology is a delivery system that allows the CBD molecule to become more water soluble, which improves its bioavailability. And what that means is that 98.7% of the CBD, when ingested with our nanotechnology, is now available to your cells. So these are products, though they don't contain the legal limit of THC, they're very, very effective in reducing the symptoms that we see in diabetes. So we have our pure tincture. Again, that's a product that has, again, the proprietary formulation where we've enhanced with our black seed, we've enhanced it with turmeric, and we've enhanced it with peppermint along with the CBD. And then we have our water soluble pure. That is a product you can use to infuse your beverages and in food. Again, this product line are for those folks out there who have random drug screens and want to see an improvement in their diabetes. So right now, I am going to first open the line for one testimony, and then after that testimony, I am going to open the line for any questions that you may have. So I'm going to take a testimony from a woman on the West Coast. She's just going to share with you what these products have done for her as it relates to diabetes. Doris, are you out there?
I am so excited, Dr. Rita. First of all, I'd just like to tell everybody that diabetes is just a lot of drama. I am so mad with it, and I've been a diabetic for 38 years. And a lot of pain, just like you said, a lot of pain, a lot of numbness, a lot of burning. You left that part out. Burning really bad. You can't get to sleep. So I ended up getting some of the Wakana gummies. And Dr. Rita said to take a little bit, half of one. I was in so much pain, I said, forget this, I'm going to chew the whole gummy.
You chewed the whole gummy?
The whole gummy. I was in so much pain. And then I rubbed my feet down with some of the cream, the Power Relief, the cream. And I sat on the side of the bed for a little bit because now I know I have to lay down. I got to get ready. Got to be ready for staying up all night, back and forth. So I laid down, and my routine is to adjust my pillows, adjust the cover, because I don't like cover on my feet. It hurt really bad. So I chewed the gummy, and Dr. Rita, when I laid down, let me tell you, I don't even remember the routine of adjusting the pillows, getting ready for the pain. When I woke up, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I was so excited. I said, you mean to tell me I actually slept all night and didn't feel the pain? It didn't wake me up. So the gummies are amazing. And I said, well, let me just get ready for 30 gummies a month, because it really helped me. And I'm just letting everybody know, with the drama that follows diabetes, if you are not a diabetic, you definitely do not. This is something you do not want to become. And if you are pre-diabetic, your hand is on the knob, ready to walk into diabetes. So whatever you can do, take these products and make it a part of your routine so you do not have to become a diabetic. It is nothing to play with, nothing. So thank you, Wakana, for bringing these type of products to the front so we can get some relief. Thank you, Dr. Rita. You are awesome.
Thank you, Doris. Can you let everyone know which gummies you use? Did you use
I used the one that was in, yes, those.
Okay. So she
used that looked like a marijuana leaf.
Yeah. So you use the Power product gummies.
Yes.
And also have the.
And then I massage my legs with the cream.
You massage your legs with
with that. Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Every night before I go to bed. That's what I use. Yes, those two things there.
So these two things made a huge difference in the quality of life on some.
Huge.
Can you imagine trying to go to sleep with that sort of pain?
It's hard. It's really difficult. Very difficult. So you guys on the line, get your product. Get your product. It's, amazing.
Well,
Wakana for life.
Thank you so much, Doris. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to take some of these questions in the last 10 minutes that we have. Let's see what we have. So I have pre-diabetes. My A1C is 5.7. My question is, how much and how often should I use the CBD in order to prevent it? Great question, Jerry. First thing is diet. You've got to make sure that you're on a plant-based diet. Second thing, you want to make sure that you're active, getting some sort of activity in your routine daily. Third thing is that you want to pair our tincture, which is our Impranium 500, which is a great way for pre-diabetics to start. 3 drops in the morning underneath the tongue, 3 drops in the evening. You're going to want to pair that with one gummy at night. I love pairing our gummies at night for everyone's routine, because at night is when your body heals. If you are not resting, if you're not getting in that rapid eye movement sleep, that deep sleep, that restorative sleep, then your body can't heal. So pair one gummy at night with your tincture twice a day. If you have nerve pain, again, pre-diabetics typically don't, but our pain relief products, our topical products are amazing. Now, I always forget to talk about our pre-rolls. Our pre-rolls are our CBD joints. Yes, we have a CBD joint that will not get you high, but it will give you all the health benefits without the high, okay? So our pre-rolls are 163 milligrams of CBD in this one joint. You don't want to smoke the whole thing. What will happen to you? Well, nothing will happen to you, but you get way more CBD than you need. More is not better, okay? More is not better. Please say that. More is not better. Because when you take too much CBD, you may get a little drowsy, you may get a little dry mouth. We want the experience to be enjoyable. So 1 to 2 pulls on this CBD joint for nerve pain, neuropathy, for insomnia, for any of those symptoms that we spoke about that you may or may not have in the diabetic type 1 or type 2 stage, this CBD pre-roll is another product that I failed to mention that's amazing. What's the proper dosing for erectile dysfunction? So for erectile dysfunction, again, more is not better. Starting with 3 drops in the morning, 3 drops in the evening, be it the tincture or water-soluble products. You can also use the CBD lube. Remember, those receptors are found in the reproductive organ. Erectile dysfunction can be caused not only by the long-term diabetes, but it can also be caused by the medications that you may be on for diabetes. So proper dosing, be it erectile dysfunction, be it neuropathy, be it retinopathy, start low and start slow. After 4 days, you can always increase the amount of CBD that you're taking. Is there any age limitation? My father is 89 and suffering from early Alzheimer's and pain from arthritis. There is no age limitation. When you talk about CBD as well as cannabis has a very high safety profile, meaning that zero persons have died from consuming too much cannabis. So it's a great safety profile. What you should know is that someone who is 89 years old with early Alzheimer's and has pain is going to be using one product that's going to address all of those issues. It's going to improve the symptoms of Alzheimer's, which is typically anxiety. Sometimes they're confused, many times they can't sleep. It's going to address the inflammation and pain from arthritis. And it's also going to improve their overall health and wellness and quality of life. See, the FDA does not allow us to make any claims. We can't make any claims of curing. We can't make diagnosis. But what we can say is that the research has shown that people who consume CBD, people who consume hemp-based products have a lower incidence of insulin resistance. They have a lower incidence of cardiovascular disease, and they have a lower incidence of fasting blood glucose levels. So absolutely, if you're on the line, you want to prevent diabetes, or maybe you have diabetes, or maybe you're pre-diabetic, these are products you're going to want to take. And again, it depends on what your preference is. There are people out here on the line that may love to smoke. So your pre-roll is maybe your product of choice. There may be some of you out there that, love our vape oil cartridges. You love vaping. Or maybe you love to infuse your beverages or your food. So water soluble will be for you. Or maybe you just love to cook and you can use our culinary oil. There's so many different products that you can use, from butters to our oils, to our gummies, to our topicals. You can even pair them all together and use a little bit of the different methods of ingestion. So there is absolutely something for everyone that is on this line to help improve their health and to prevent diabetes. Just to be clear, CBD equally beneficial for people with type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Yes, our proprietary blend of our CBD oil also is enhanced with black seed oil. So black seed oil has been shown through research to rebuild the beta cells of the pancreas. The beta cells of the pancreas are those cells that produce insulin. In type 1 diabetics, they cannot produce insulin. So black seed has been shown to help rebuild those cells. So no, I'm not saying it's going to cure their type 1 or take it away forever, but what I am saying is that the anti-inflammatory properties of CBD in conjunction with the black seed oil, the turmeric, and the peppermint give our products a huge advantage for those who are type 1 and type 2 diabetic. So yes, they're equally beneficial for pre-diabetics, the type 1, and the type 2 diabetics. Yes, there is 650 milligrams of sodium in our seasoning, and we want to make sure that if you are hypertensive, typically you need to be below 950 milligrams a day. And all you need is a little of the seasoning to get the benefits of CBD in your food. Great question. So I want to end the presentation here. It's 9 o'clock. I want you to contact the person that invited you on the line. There were 106 people on this line. I want you to contact the person that invited you on this line, and I want you to get your products ordered. I really want you to take this information to your healthcare provider so that they can be clear in knowing why your blood sugars are improving, why your symptoms are improving. And so this is a great way to engage your physician in the wellness that you should take back. I mean, this is your health. This is your body. Then CBD absolutely has been studied as it relates to diabetes, type 1, type 2, pre-diabetes, as well as gestational diabetes. Again, I'm Dr. Rita McGuire. I will see you next Wednesday on the same Zoom conference line. And next week, we're going to be talking about hypertension and CBD. So I want you to invite all of your guests. I want you to invite even your physician. Maybe your physician wants to know more about how CBD works, how the endocannabinoid system is looking for CBD to put our bodies back in balance. Good night, and again, contact the person that invited you on the line to get your questions answered and to get your products ordered. And again, thank you, Doris, for that amazing testimony, and we will see you next Wednesday.